Sharkast. 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 IAA Sharkast.
Hello, Sharkland. This is Dr. Don, your host of Sharkast, episode 32. This is a vodcast, so turn your video on. We're going to be focusing on what makes IAA different from other schools in Guayaquil. And to help me with that topic today, I have three beautiful people with me. Our leadership team at Inter-American Academy. I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Okay, hi, my name is Brian. I am principal here at IAA, currently focusing in the secondary, but moving into helping the elementary in the coming weeks.
My name is Veronica Caipaquian, and I am the current elementary school principal and early childhood as well. I have been working in education for over 25 years. I have been in 6 different countries, 9 different schools. So I've been to Mexico, the United States, Tunisia, Italy, China, and now in Ecuador. It's my pleasure to be here today.
My name is Susan Williams. This is my second year at IAA, second wonderful year. I am the lead of the Student Support Services. So we work with individual students on their needs and meeting all of those needs. And I've been in education for over 37 years. I have been ahead of a school for over 20 years. So I'm hoping that I'm bringing a lot of experience to IAA.
You most certainly are. All of you are bringing wonderful experience to IAA. And that's one thing that makes us different than other schools is our leadership team is all-star team, world-class leaders. So we have a lot of exciting things going on at IAA. What are you excited about? We'll start with Brian. What are you excited about at IAA?
I think I'm most excited about the students, right? So I'm new to the school. So for me, I'm getting in the classrooms every day and just getting to know the kids and getting to understand the relationship that they have with learning and their teachers. And house events have been something notable. It's been a lot of fun. We've been doing some competitions, so that's getting kids more excited. And the senior project is something I'm working on right now. I had some meetings this morning about that.
I am very excited about our campus slowly opening up to our full community. We have parent-teacher conferences coming up, in-person parent-teacher conferences. We had Makerspace last Saturday, and it was a success. Thank you, everyone, for coming. We also had an astronomy night last week, and we started at our after-school activities also with students and some parents on campus. It's been great. We also have our Halloween party coming up, and it feels like our community is joining back together, and that's fantastic.
And I'm very excited to be becoming a member of this community. I've always worked in big schools, and so the atmosphere is very different. Here at IAA, parents are welcome. Kids feel very safe. They have many new programs that we're constantly introducing to students. This is just a wonderful, cohesive, collaborative, warm environment for everyone, and that excites me.
Awesome. I always tease Susan because she was the director at Americano in Quito for a lot of years, and her big school, I don't know, you got like 2,000 students there, something ridiculous. Those kids would come down here and they'd have 100 million kids on their basketball team or volleyball team, and we'd have like 6 kids, and they would beat up on us because they were bigger and there was more of them. We always won the sportsmanship award, but definitely we have that family feel, right? And we did win a few games against Americano in recent history. So a few, okay, now we're talking trash. Well, there are a lot of exciting things going on at IAA. So let's talk a little bit about our current reality. I'm happy to announce that we are up to 272 students at Inter-American Academy. As many of you might be aware, we were at 350 students before the pandemic. So we actually dropped down to 200 students during the pandemic, under 200. And what we realized, we relearned how great it is to be small. Being a small school allows us to be like a family. I think we appreciate being small more than we did before the pandemic. Before the pandemic, the board had a goal, and we as a school had a goal of getting up to 500 students as a school. And now we're rethinking that goal. We love being small. It's great being small. And so maybe our target number is 350 kids or 400 kids, but I don't think it's 500 kids I don't think we want to get to 500 because we want to preserve our smallness and our family atmosphere and the personalized education that we give to students. We're also a nonprofit school. That makes us much different than a lot of schools out there because all of our money goes into our students and their education. We're not here to make money. And so we're not here to say, oh, let's have 1,000 students or 2,000 so we can make a lot of money. No, all of our money from tuition goes back into our kids' education.
Well, just to your point first, I'm also a parent, right? So I do appreciate the fact that my kids have small class sizes and the teachers are available all the time. So I 100% agree. I think the first thing we have to keep in mind is that we've had no COVID cases on campus, right? So we are having school every day, all day. I think we started the year as the only school doing that in Ecuador, and we're safe. And it's exciting to be in classrooms, and our kids are doing a great job. And we anticipate that continuing because we've got all the safety protocol in place. I would add that now we're starting after school activities. So that's another big bonus, right? So school doesn't end at 3 o'clock any longer. It's now going on, and we're giving enrichment activities for so many students. So I think the learning opportunities that we're seeing are just continuing to expand. So I think that that's probably what strikes me at this point as what's most notable.
I do want to share with everyone the good news. Our nursery program is full. We currently have a waiting list, and we're very excited to welcome new students. We just need to make sure we are ready for them. But our nursery program is full, and also our classes are filling up very fast. Pre-K is almost up to full capacity as well. And I just want to say that this is the time to join IAA's elementary school. Please come visit. We would love to give you a tour of our school or have you visit our classrooms. So make an appointment, and we're here to welcome you.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. Now is the time to join the IAA family while you can. We're filling up very quickly in elementary school and early childhood. And then in secondary, we have a few more spots available, but those will fill up quickly over the next year, I imagine. So those of you that are IAA families, you're in on the ground. You got a guaranteed spot, and you're part of the family, and you'll be part of the family till your kids graduate. But if you have friends that have been thinking about joining IAA and being part of the family, you need to talk to them now and say, now's the time to join because the spots are going to be limited. We're not going to increase to 500 students like we were before. And so when the spots fill up, they fill up, and we'll have waiting lists, and like we do now with nursery, and we'll continue to be small and have that intimate family environment. So as you're talking to prospective families, maybe that's something to emphasize, is that join while you can. We would love for you to be part of our family, but it's not going to be unlimited spots in the future. We're not in need of saving IAA or getting a whole bunch of students. We're okay. We survived the pandemic, so we can survive anything, and we're just happy and content being small. So let's talk a little bit about what you can tell your friends about what makes IAA different. Let's start with accreditation. What makes IAA different from other schools, and what are some things we should know about? So accreditation, for those of you that might not be aware, accreditation is like a stamp on your school that says your school is doing the correct things that schools should do to help students learn and progress. And so in order to be accredited, a school has to prove that they're a good school and that they're good for kids, and they have good teachers that are qualified, they're teaching the right content, they have good leadership, they have good buildings that are safe for the students, and that they're a vibrant, good community. And so the way accreditation works is there's different bodies that will accreditate schools. For instance, there's CIS or MSA, which is Middle States Association, or Cognia. We are accredited through Cognia. And what accreditation does is it validates your school. So with me today, I have 3 accreditation experts, because these leaders and myself have actually served on accreditation teams. So everybody that you see here today in this leadership team, we've all had the experience of serving on accreditation teams Also, our instructional coach, Mr. Adams, has also served on a team.
I have had 3 accreditations so far, one in San Michael's in the Dominican Republic, one in the Caribbean International School in Panama, and coming up soon, Colegio Nueva Granada in Colombia.
So Don, one thing you might want to add is that remember that all accreditations are not created equal, right? So even though multiple schools are accredited by a single governing agency, the quality of the accreditation varies, right? So a school like ours, where we speak native English, where we do so many different things, the nature of our accreditation is much more robust than some of the other schools that are being accredited these days. So, yes, they receive a proficiency, but I think I'm really proud that IAA can offer so much more embeddedness of practice than many of the other schools out there in the world. To that end, I've been doing accrediting for about 15 years on 5 different continents. So I've got a little bit of experience with that, and I think it's a great process for schools to reflect and prove to the world that they are ambitious and deliver what they say they do to students.
Yes, I've had a number of years of experience. I started with accreditation work in the year 2000, and I became a lead evaluator in 2005. I was also honored to serve on the International Council for Latin America, and I have led teams in Mexico, Central America, and South America, and also in the Middle East, in Egypt and in Saudi Arabia. So these past 2 years, all of our visits have been remote. They've been virtual, which has changed it a little bit, but still the standards are there. And one thing I would like to mention about Cognia is of all the other accrediting agencies, Cognia is the largest. They have a presence in 80 different countries and 40,000 different schools. So I think, IAA, as Veronica mentioned, is in a very special position because of its uniqueness, because of the English language instruction. And we're looking toward a very successful visit this year.
Well, I have a couple questions for you, Susan, since you're the queen of accreditation. 21 years, lead evaluator. So how often do accreditation teams visit schools to renew their accreditation?
The teams go to visit your school every 5 years. They go for 4 or 5 days, depending on the scheduling. They review all of the documentation that the school provides. When they are on campus, if it's a presential visit, they visit classrooms, they do classroom observations, they review what the school board is doing, and they follow, all of their work is followed and very closely aligned to the Cognia standards of performance.
Very good. And so what does a school get out of accreditation through someone like Cognia? What does it mean? What does it give you?
Well, I think the first thing, which you mentioned, Don, is Cognia sets standards of excellence for schools. A school is working towards meeting all of those standards. So the minute you are accredited, the message is there that you have met standards of excellence, and that you're doing the best things for students, for staff, and for family. Another advantage is when students will graduate from IAA, they will graduate with an accredited U.S. diploma. That accredited U.S. diploma allows them to study in the U.S. or in Europe and not have to go through a revalidation process. Also, Cognia provides professional development for teachers and for staff.
Excellent, excellent. So it's a big deal being accredited. So here's a question for the team. How long has Inter-American Academy been accredited? What are your guesses?
I don't know the exact number of years, but I know that for sure it's been accredited for 20 years. So it has to be more than 20, because I am certain that for 20 years we have had this accreditation.
Okay, any other guesses? Brian, Susan?
Yeah, I'd say the 20-year range sounds pretty reasonable to me, but that's just a random guess.
All right, Susan, you might actually know this, Susan.
I do kind of know it, so maybe I shouldn't say.
Okay, well, you just say and I'll see if you're right.
I think it's been accredited for 40 years.
That's correct. We were accredited in 1981, so 40 years. So this is a big deal. We've been, when we say challenging young minds since 1978, or 1979 or whatever it is, the beginning of our school. So it only took a couple of years after our school started to get accredited. And then we've been accredited ever since. So every 5 years, teams have come to our school and recognized that we're meeting the standards to be an excellent school. We actually have an accreditation visit this year in April because it's been 5 years. And so a team will come to our school virtually this year because of the pandemic and visit us. So I had a question. Are there any other schools in Guayaquil or the area that are accredited? Now, if I were to ask this question a year ago, the answer would be no. There are no other schools accredited a year ago, but that's changed. We recently have 2 schools, one in San Borondon and one here in Guayaquil, that have received their accreditation through Cognia in the last year. Now, this is great. You might think, oh, well, wow, I mean, what's different from IAA with those schools? But there's a lot of differences, and we're going to talk about that. But it's a good thing that schools are getting accredited, because what it means is that schools are doing better things for children. And we want all of the schools to be good schools for kids. Because obviously, if we're only going to have 400 students in Guayaquil at Inter-American Academy, we want the other thousands and thousands and thousands of students to also have quality schools that they can choose from and that they can go to where they can receive a great education. But what makes us different, let's say, from those other 2 schools or from the other schools in Guayaquil?
One of the first ones that I want to mention is that IAA is not a bilingual school. We are at 100% English. We teach all of our subjects in English. So I think that that's one thing that we must highlight. We have highly qualified teachers that come from the US or other countries like Canada in every single grade, from starting in kindergarten all the way up to grade 6. And also in secondary, we have many foreign hired teachers. So I think that this is something unique to our school, especially in this area.
I'll step in. For me, there are a couple of things, and it's all tied to the university admissions process. A team of administrators and teachers who work very hard beginning in grade 9 to get every student into the best possible university around the world. And we are exceptionally successful at it. I think that we generate enormous amounts of scholarship money relative to our student size. We motivate our kids. We provide the background that they need to get into these great schools, and our curriculum, which is built upon the advanced placement programs, I think is one of the best you can find. So kids who are looking to get into the top universities worldwide, for me, there's no other choice than to be here.
And as lead of the student support team, I would like to say that IAA is extremely unique. I would say there are few schools in the world that provide the same services for individual students that IAA provides. Each child is sheltered the moment they enter the institution, and we provide English as second language. We also provide support for students that have different learning needs, and we also have a program for those students that are identified as gifted or have exceptional talent. Each student, all of their data, their achievement data, their testing, their report cards is analyzed and looked at, and plans and programs are created for students. Here at IAA, we want to meet those individual needs, and going way beyond that, we want to make sure that every single student is successful.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because it really is a very individualized education. We are the only school in Guayaquil that offers an American curriculum, and therefore our students are able to achieve at a high level to where they're getting $200,000 worth of scholarship money every year for an average of 20 graduates. That's pretty good. 40 years of accreditation, U.S. diploma. And then as Mrs. K said, the majority of our teachers are from the US or are international teachers. So they're native English speakers. So it's a big deal. What else makes us different?
Here's one thing, and it's coming from someone who's new to the school. And I think it's a philosophical thing. I think that we're less interested in kids being obedient than we are in them being creative, right? So when I go into classrooms, especially in the elementary school in Veronica's corner of the building, we see kids doing the most amazing things, like taking control of their own learning. And to me, that's not something you see in most schools, kids that taking ownership of what they're doing in the classroom. So I really appreciate that as an administrator and a parent.
If I can add something, I would say that we have a standard international calendar, which really helps our families. We are the only nursery to 12th grade school in Guayaquil. Our calendar starts in August and it goes all the way up to June. If I can also expand that, I would jump into talking about safety, inclusion, and happiness, because our school, as everybody knows, is an inclusive and multicultural school, and our students and our community is very proud of that. We share different languages, different cultures, traditions, customs, food, and we celebrate together. This is something that's really, truly spectacular about our school. We have, as you said, Dr. Dawn, 28 different nationalities right now at our school, and that's something that we celebrate every day.
Very true. We love diversity at IAA. In addition to that, we love being innovative, and that's something Brian was talking about. And I was just thinking of all the different things that we offer to our kids. When they're little, we start them out with Reggio Emilia, right? Play to learn. And then we move into makerspace and project-based learning and STEM. And something that people might not realize is that we are the only advanced placement capstone diploma school in Ecuador. That's a big deal. Maybe Brian, you could talk a little bit about experiential learning and how that makes us different.
Sure. So what happens in learning for us is that there's the component of information, right? And that's the traditional piece where you're learning dates and skills and things like that. But at our school, I think the piece that we're most proud of is what comes next. So we're asking our kids to do projects. We're asking our kids to get out into the community. And we're asking our students to use what they're learning in the classroom, experience that learning in real time, in real communities, so that they have the ability to see the value in what they're learning. It makes it real, it makes it fun, and I think it probably prepares kids better for adulthood than you'd find in probably most of the other schools.
I would just like to add on to what Brian was just saying. I think that IAA is very successful preparing students with the skills that they will need for success at the next level, at college level, and also as they go into professional work. A lot of the programs are based on collaboration, teamwork, developing communication skills, both English and Spanish writing and speaking skills. I also think that all of the innovations that the school works on, the different platforms we use, are preparing the students to use technology as a tool in their learning. So that will make their success that first year at university much stronger because they already have the skills in place. They've been using them.
Thank you so much to our panel of experts today, our leaders at Inter-American Academy. So parents out there that are IAA parents, you can share this Sharkast with your friends. Also, we'll have some upcoming open houses. So you can see on your screen the information about the invitation for the dates of the open houses. And so if you would like to be in the best English education in Guayaquil, and if you would like to have the best opportunities for your children and the small family atmosphere of Inter-American education with its individualized attention to each student, IAA is really the place for you, for your friends that are out there that are considering. Please join the family while you can. Let's hear Go Sharks from our leadership team.
Go Sharks!
Go Sharks!
Go Sharks!
Go Sharks! All right.
Sharkast.